We gather today to trade vengeance for justice, to urge more effective use of our taxes, and to demand that our government address 21st century problems with something more sensible than a sanction from the Dark Ages.
The use of capital punishment is in decline across the United States. Recently, New York, New Jersey, and New Mexico joined 12 other states in abandoning the death penalty. Governor O'Malley of Maryland is seeking the end of the death penalty because it is no longer economically defensible.
As the Catholic bishops of Colorado, and consistent with Christian respect for the sanctity of human life, we oppose the use of capital punishment in our state, and therefore we support House Bill 1274. Society has a right to establish laws that protect all people and promote the common good. But the need to punish violent criminals does not logically lead, in our day, to the conclusion that capital punishment should be employed.
I know that many people believe that capital punishment follows a biblical mandate, namely an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth and a life for a life. But even in biblical times, those expressions were about compensation. For us as a society, it is not appropriate for us to take a life to prove that taking a life is not right.
In 2001, 11 of us who had lost a loved one to a murder for which no one had ever been prosecuted set out to find justice for our loved ones. We went to the Department of Public Safety to ask for help. No help was forthcoming. We wrote to the governor, called and wrote our legislators, but received scant attention. Our group sought neither sympathy nor empathy, only justice. We concluded that when a murder cannot be solved by the local jurisdiction in a reasonable period of time, the state must step in. We called for a statewide, state-funded cold case team. The legislature obliged in 2007 by passing Representative Joe Rice's House Bill 1272. That same year, Representative Paul Weissmann introduced a bill to fund that cold case team. It called for abolishing the little-used death penalty, which costs our taxpayers $4 million a year, and transferring those savings to implement the cold case team at CBI. That bill was defeated on the House floor 30 to 35. We also released the results of a poll conducted for us by RBI Strategies. This poll told us that the people of Colorado, when given the facts, are with us by a margin of better than 2 to 1.
And I can think of no better way of making sure that the dollars that are saved are used in order to bring to justice those who really have perpetrated crimes. And they should spend the rest of their lives in jail without the opportunity for parole. Thank you.
Amnesty International, the world's largest human rights organization with 2 million members worldwide. We've worked since our founding in 1961 against the death penalty as the worst human rights violation. There is no record of states or nations having less violent crime when they have the death penalty. We congratulate Colorado. We look for the passage of Bill 1274.
The death penalty is unjust, it's uncivilized, and it's inconsistent with the fallibility of our criminal justice system. And because we believe that no amount of tinkering will rescue the death penalty from its inherent flaws, the Criminal Defense Bar supports legislation to abolish it immediately.
Capital punishment is it's a barbaric relic of a less civilized time. It's immoral in principle to consider the government carrying out the premeditated murder of one of its own residents. And of course, as it's actually carried out, the death penalty is unfair, discriminatory, and arbitrary. And of course, it ensures the execution of at least some innocent persons. As a remedy for crime, it has no valid purpose, and it has no deterrent effect.
Lawmaking is both political and moral. Colorado Council of Churches and Hunger for Justice, whose broad interfaith reach is statewide, calls upon every legislator in the Colorado General Assembly to support House Bill 1274. And we ask them to be guided by their morality. As people of faith, we believe in holding people accountable for crimes, and especially heinous crimes. And we have done that successfully in this state and throughout the country. Contrition requires accountability, but it also requires the ability of the person who's committed that wrong to change. We believe in change. We believe that the God that we worship can change lives. And any punishment that prevents that contrition from having the opportunity to bear itself out is neither just nor is it moral. We thank you for being here, and we're now prepared to